So I've got to tell you the gravity of the situation we are in right now, which is this battle of good versus evil. Many people are sitting there, they're thinking, oh, well, what's the use? The Antichrist is going to come anyway, and there's too much evil in the world. And you have this defeated mentality, you have a hopeless mentality. And if I can even go as far as to say that you may not even believe that God has the victory. Something you got to realize in the Bible, especially if you read Psalms and Proverbs, is that in those two books, it talks quite a bit about this battle of good versus evil, this battle and this duality of if you are a righteous person versus if you are a wicked person, and how God covers the righteous. The problem is that not a lot of people really believe that, nor do they desire or hunger and thirst for righteousness. And you have to realize that this world, yes, there is a lot of evil. Yes, there are things for which God may permit and allow certain evils to exist. But if you are a child of God, if you are a nation, if you are a body of Christ, a people group that desires and hungers after the Lord and desires to put him first, if you literally live and breathe out what Psalms and Proverbs is saying, and these are promises. You have to realize that what God is saying, his word doesn't just drop null and void. The problem we have is that a lot of us have a belief system. We have a lack of faith, a trust in the Lord, of his deliverance, his power, him overcoming evil. And so you have to literally get this in your mind to say that when God makes a promise, when he talks about destroying evil, when he talks about protecting, providing for his children, the righteousness, those that put him first, those that desire after the righteous things, the biblical things of the world. And there's many things. It talks a lot about wealth. It talks a lot about covering. It talks a lot about this duality, as I mentioned. And you have to literally sit there and think, why is it that God is not supposedly defeating evil? Why is it that God is not helping me or protecting us and all these things? Because his word doesn't, if you believe the Bible, like I believe the Bible, you're going to look at Psalms and Proverbs and say, well, there's no sometimes it works and sometimes it doesn't. It's like a hit or a miss. It's not like that. So that's why in this season, you really have to take to heart and reread Psalms and Proverbs. You really have to take to heart what God is saying when he's saying that he triumphs over evil, that he won't allow some of these things to happen. And so that's why many of us are getting deeper in our understanding of our faith, of trust, and putting him first, and these things. And there's a spiritual awakening that's happening for which together, as a body, if you come together, if you have this victory mentality, if you want to defeat evil, if you want to literally go after these things, you have to have this mindset. And there's this mind, this heart connection, and this aspect of turning this around, letting go of every doubt, of every anxiety, of every fear, and saying, Lord, you have this. And I believe it. I believe it the way that David believed it. I believe it. I want to be a man after God's own heart, just like David was. And so remember right now, remember the promises of God. Remember what the Bible is saying about this time, because many of us, we're not applying that to the world. We're not applying that to the deep state, to the Illuminati, to the powers that be, the invisible, whatever. So all these things, guys, you have to really take to heart that God, he's there. He's a God who delivers on his promises. So watch these things come to pass. Watch God have the victory, have the last say. So love you guys. Think about it. Pray through it. If you have a mentality, a perspective issue, if you have a doubt issue, bring it to the Lord. Surrender it to him and let him work. So love you guys. Talk to you guys very soon.